Peace, chosen ones. Happy Our Wisdom Wednesday. I hope you all are doing well. We are currently on the third day of the full supermoon in Aries, and the energy has been intense. It's been intense for about a week, pretty much since last Wednesday. So the energy is very intense. Having full supermoon in Aries during Libra season, during a season of justice and karma, coupled with that fiery Aries energy, shit has definitely been intense. So like I said, I hope you all are doing well. There's been a lot of crazy energy going on. But today I want to talk about why healing and standing in your personal power will offend people. You healing and standing in your power will only offend people who have not healed and are not standing in their power. It's as simple as that. It's not a big mystery or a big secret. Those are the people that you're going to heal. These are going to be that you're going to trigger. And you're going to heal them. I didn't even mean to say that you're going to heal, but you're going to heal them. By healing yourself, you're also going to heal them as well. Because a lot of people swear that they are totally and completely healed from everything, and I don't challenge people on the things that they say, but I also know that healing is not linear, and I also know that healing doesn't stop. Just because you've healed from one thing doesn't mean that there's something else that you're going to need to heal from because you're alive. Like, the healing really only stops when you're no longer living. So I'm always kind of weary of people who swear they have everything figured out. They're the healed one. They're just the righteous one, the holy one. And that's usually never the case. This is why I don't call myself or consider myself to be a part of any religion or any organization. I'm not holier than thou. I'm not righteous. I'm not any of that. I'm just me. I'm a human. I call myself the Mystic Owl, and that's pretty much it. But I'm not above anyone. I'm not better than anyone. But at the same time, I'm also not beneath anyone. No one's above me. No one's beneath me. We're all here. We're all supposed to be at eye level, but we know that's not the society that we live in. Basically because of greed. Greed, money, ego. You have people thinking they're better than others because of status, because of money, because of looks, because of weight, because of where you live or how you live, what job you work, how many degrees you have. The list goes on. And when you are actually content with yourself and your situation and your position in life, and you have done the healing that it takes, not being completely healed, but just healing in general, healing your mind, healing your body, healing your spirit, and you stand in that and you can't be moved out of that position, it offends people. Because a lot of people are attached to their ego. A lot of people are attached to their money. A lot of people are attached to their material possessions. And I see it. I know other people see it too. Yeah, I'm healed because I have a house in the hills now. That doesn't necessarily correlate. Like, yeah, you might have healed your money wound, but you're a fucking asshole. So you're still not healed the way you think you have. When you heal and you stand in your own personal power, it holds up a mirror to other people. Like, it really shakes up their own worldview. And I like to keep an open mind. I like to keep an open heart. And the more I look around, the more I see and understand that that's not the way of the world. Most people are very close-minded. Most people have a lot of anger and bitterness and envy and resentment in their heart for anybody. Like, they'll resent the cashier at Kroger because her line was too long, and they'll go home and ruminate about it. Well, before they get home, they'll road rage home in their vehicles or however they got to the grocery store, and then get home and ruminate about it and be pissed off about it for days to come. But this is the healed person. Remember, this is the healed person that I'm giving an example of. That's not healing. That's not content. That's not peace. It's giving very much bothered. So it holds a mirror up when you are the one who's actually actively healing and the other person isn't, but they think they have. They're so cocky that they've healed everything about themselves, and then they actually see you being peaceful and calm and quiet and staying to yourself, and they don't like what they see. They don't like what they see. Even though it has nothing to do with them, they're making it about them because they're not actually healed. And you are. When you heal and you're standing in your power, you disconnect from the bullshit, basically. As far as personal relationships, family, friends, co-workers, when you heal, you step out of the dynamic of being codependent or gossiping or shared victimhood and things like that. And when you no longer resonate with those type of conversations, it can make a falsely healed person feel like you're abandoning them, but you're not abandoning them. You're abandoning the toxicity because you're actively healing. Also, when you heal, like you're actively healing, there's like a status change. And I'm not talking about financially, I'm talking about mentally. There's a status change because you no longer resonate or respond to the labels as the sick one, the crazy one, the black sheep, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck people may call you. You no longer fit that description when you are actively healing. And so now you're no longer fitting that description, and you're holding up the mirror to show them their reflection, and what they see is themselves. Everything they thought was you is actually them, and you were the one that they did not like. But in reality, they're really just not liking themselves. You know, I personally had to step away from a lot of the black sheep talk, because even if people did identify me as the black sheep, I don't identify myself as the black sheep. If anything, I'm the brown owl. This is the mystic owl speaking. So it's all about what you answer to, what you resonate with. Like, we have to be very careful because everything holds energy, especially names. And when you no longer identify as the black sheep of the family, or while you're actively healing, you no longer have an issue with your family because you healed whatever issue there might have been, changes the status quo. You're actually unbothered. When you can feel peace about situations that used to get you upset or riled up. And I know family, the topic of family is a big trigger for most of us. I personally think it might be all of us at some point, because family is just people that most of us happen to be related to by blood. But I'm not going to get into that today as far as family and titles. But when you actually are actively healing, you're not moved by what your family does or what they don't do. You're not moved by what they call you or what they don't call you, if they address you, how they address you, because you're actively healing. And when nothing pisses someone off more than them trying to get under your fucking skin, and you're just like chilling, you're just like totally unbothered, inside and out. Because I know a lot of people will act unbothered but then be upset about it later. No. When you're actively healing and you're standing firm in your power, and someone blatantly wants to disrespect you, but you are so stoic on the inside and the outside, you might see smoke come out of their ears. Like, I've seen people turn red, literally red, because of that. Because in the past, I would react instead of responding. I would react I would fall for the trap. I would fall for the trick of being triggered. Because, a lot of people see this life or society as a game. I personally also think it's a game. But what I don't like about the game is the people closest to you will be the ones who will test you the most and test you the hardest and probably put you in the most danger, for real. I don't like that part of the game. I don't like that part of the game. So when you're no longer responding to their games and their attempt to trigger you, they're going to be offended by it. They're going to be offended by it. And that's not our problem. Because if they were actively healing, they wouldn't be offended by it. It's as simple as that. Another thing is a lot of people are actually pessimistic. They think that they're not, but when you have like these one-on-one conversations with people, you find out how really pessimistic they are. And that's okay. Be pessimistic. But I don't like the facade of being optimistic when you're actually pessimistic, because I can be pessimistic as well, and I'm not going to cover it up by being optimistic. I'm just naturally optimistic, but there are certain things in life that I am pessimistic about for sure. But the people who get offended by your active healing, they are the ones who act optimistic, but deep down in their soul, they're really pessimistic. Like they'll congratulate you and smile in your face and all that shit. And as soon as y'all are not in each other's frequency anymore, you're not 6 feet within each other anymore, they're having a field day with whatever conversation y'all just had behind your back, talking the most shit, being the most pessimistic. Whatever information you just told them, they're literally shitting on it 5 minutes later. It might not even be 5 minutes. It literally might be as soon as they get in the car and call or text or post on social media, whoever, whatever. They're offended by the act of healing, because your healing, again, it holds up the mirror to their true soul, their pessimistic soul, their pessimistic outlook on life. You being content and happy and calm with whatever you have, wherever you are. It doesn't matter if it's a little or a lot. They'll be triggered by it because they have not started the healing. And if they have started, they definitely haven't completed it. Actively healing and standing in your power and knowing who you are and what you want out of life without the input of others, being your own counsel. That one right there really pisses people off. It really triggers people, especially if you come from a religious background. A lot of people believe that you can't read the Bible for yourself, or you need a mediator, or whatever they believe. And that's fine. The only issue I have with those beliefs is when they are forced upon other people, when they are forced upon the free thinkers, the open-minded ones. That's the only issue I have with any religious concept, is that it's forced, or it wants to be forced onto other people. And then you run into people like me. You run into people who resonate with this video, and we can't be forced to do anything. It doesn't matter what it is, who it's from. It just can't be forced. Why? Because we are actively healing ourselves. We stand in our power. We know who we are. We know who we're not. We know what we're going to put up with. We know what we're not going to put up with. We know what we're going to do, what we're not going to do, where we're going to go, what we're going to say, who we're going to deal with. People who resonate with my energy are very strategic, very methodical. Probably if you were to do your personality test, which I highly recommend, if I can, I'm going to leave a link in the description box below for the Briggs personality test. Everything you need to know about my personality is in the description box as well. I am an INFJ, and an INFJ personality type is already rare. But INFJ personality type, and being a female such as myself, being a woman, and being a human design profile reflector, I can trigger a lot of people unintentionally by doing absolutely nothing. And I don't mean that in a cocky way, because honestly, it can get dangerous. Like people's attitudes, their energy, their inability to control themselves in their own life, their own feelings, their own ego. It can get really dangerous if you share an energy like I have, which I know my soul tribe, we have a very similar energy with a very similar personality type. And it can be dangerous to piss these people off because they are not stable mentally or emotionally. And that's another thing that's really going to set others off or trigger them when you're actively healing and standing in your power. They're going to be easily offended by your personality type, by your personality in general. by the way you connect with people, by the way people like you, the way people love you. They're going to be easily offended by that. But you can't tell these people anything. You can't tell them to, hey, maybe you should check your ego. Maybe you should get into more healing, because they believe they've already done the work. But like I said, if you resonate with me and my energy, you know that the work is never done. Like, you know that we're just getting started. It doesn't matter where you are in your spiritual journey. Your spiritual journey doesn't end until you end. Until either you end it, like you cut off your spiritual journey, or you die. And even if you were to be alive and cut off your spiritual journey, you're still going to have to go through the journey of life regardless. But most people want a deep, sincere spiritual path, such as myself. I've been on this path. I'm 33 years. There was a disconnect from about 19 to 25 for me, and about 26 is when I picked it back up again. But that's life. Like, my spiritual journey has not been continuous. It hasn't been linear. Definitely hasn't been easy. Like, I started and stopped and picked up and started and stopped probably a million times. Literally a million times, and within just 1 year alone. So people who resonate on the same frequency as I do, we have to be very careful, because we are always actively healing. And when you are continuously healing yourself, you become very powerful. And when you become very powerful, you also become a target. Do not become a target. Now, with that being said, we don't want to target anyone either. I'm never intentionally targeting anyone or anything, but at the same time, you won't get to use me as target practice either, you know? So these are the reasons why actively healing, standing in your power, standing in your purpose, will offend people who are either not healing, haven't healed at all, or swear that they've already healed and that the healing is done, the healing is complete, and that's it. Because if the healing was truly complete, there would be nothing to be offended about or by any other human being at all. I mean, absolutely nothing. And I've seen people swear that they were healed, swear that they were better than, but they were also always easily offended, triggered, and upset by something someone did or someone said, or the way someone looked at them. You know, petty shit. You didn't text back right away. That's not the type of healing that we're into over here. So if you stay to the end, thank you so much for listening. I'm super excited to get things rolling over here. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, like, share, check out the description. There will be new episodes every Wednesday. I coined the phrase Our Wisdom Wednesday on the Autumnal Equinox in 2021, and I'm still here. I started off on Facebook, went over from Facebook to Instagram, and now I'm back here on YouTube. I still post on Facebook and Instagram, but it's pretty much mainly on my stories, and every now and then I might post a reel or something like that. But my main focus, I want to keep it on YouTube, because I have a lot to say. I have a lot to get off my chest. We have a lot of things to go over. At some point, comments will be open, but during this season, the autumnal season, the winter season of the year number 9, it's not in my spirit to turn comments on at this time, but pretty much everything on my socials are open. Comments are open there. DMs are open there. So again, if you stayed to the end, thank you so much for listening. I love you, chosen ones. Take care of yourself. Peace.